Hey guys, how's it going? We are doing a garden tour. I didn't think that I was going to be doing one for the rest of the year, and I felt like I was doing a little bit of a disservice by not doing one. So I did zero cleanup, zero prep. I woke up this morning and it is a beautiful, beautiful morning out. It's about 9:30 right now, which is later than I normally like to get out to film garden tours. So some of the lighting might be a little rough and you're going to see messes. This is going to be a very real life garden tour. So I live in California, zone 9A, and we will not have even the slightest view of frost for at least a few more months. So we have plenty enough time to have a growing season. My garden is just a bit of a mess right now. So let's jump into this garden tour. All right, we're jumping into it against my better judgment. Here we are, the very front of the house. And there has been changes around the entire property this year. So things aren't as full as I would like this giant gap right here, but it's okay. The thing that does look beautiful up here are these Oklahoma salmon zinnias. Aren't these so pretty? When they were younger, they looked like this. They had more of like an ombre effect. Look how dark these petals are. And so they first start out and they look like this, where they have a more open center, and then they get fuller, and then they just get even fuller. So because I haven't been cutting on these very much, the blooms have gotten smaller and smaller, but for a while they were twice the size of this one right here. So really, really beautiful plant. Oklahoma salmon, highly, highly recommend it. And then next to that, I just planted this. This is a dark lavender rose of Sharon. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous rose of Sharon. I cannot wait to see this thing grow up. And they love full sun. So this is a full sun area. It gets plenty enough water right here. And then this bed right here is lined with the Edgerite Corten steel metal edging, and same with that bed over there and a few other areas on our property. We've got some arborvitaes right here, and they need to desperately get out of these containers. They're a little too big. They're not proportionate anymore. So they'll probably need to come out this fall time and get planted somewhere else. I wish I could plant them here, but I can't get them in the ground. We've got local irrigation that runs like somewhere in this vicinity. And so both of these do need to come out of the ground. You can see this one's starting to get a little scorched just because it's probably too root bound and not getting enough sun. Over here, this is a Sun-Believable sunflower, and it's been blooming its little heart out. It's probably towards the end of its season right now, but these plants get about 1,000 blooms in a growing season, which is really, really cool. And then I have a climbing rose right here. This is the Eden Climber, and my goal is to train it to go up this way, and then over here and around the picket fence, and then up this way and over this, so I can have some blooms hanging off just kind of like one side of this. I just think that'll be really beautiful. And then here is my October Glory Maple, and in October they stay green. So we'll see if it changes this year. I have gotten one year where it had a little tiny bit of color, and it wasn't like a overwhelming amount. Like, I think it did exactly this, where it just got just like, see how it turns, see how it's yellow? That's what the whole plant did, is it kind of turned like yellow with a little tiny bit of orange. It was very underwhelming. So hopefully this year it turns very red and vibrant and absolutely stunning. We'll come in this way. This is our little bit of lawn, and this is all lawn that we put in by seed. I get questions about that. So this is all seeded and none of it is sod. It was all just bare dirt when we bought this place. And then this is a brand new bed right here, and I've got some ilex. These are called Strong Box right here, and I'm really excited about them. They're gonna be a boxwood replacement. I should have ordered maybe 2 to 3 more to have better spacing, so they would have been closer together. And my line isn't like, it's not straight, it's fine. And then I've got it backed with a couple hydrangeas right here. I don't remember which variety, and I just planted them. But those are an experiment. Those will just see if they make it. I would love if they made it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up not making it. Back that way, I've got a creeping fig. I'm trying to train so this entire fence right here is just full of creeping fig and beautiful. I don't remember what these are. If I remember, I'll pop the name up on the screen. I do have the tag somewhere. Something about like a mop head or something like that. And it's a really, really beautiful plant. It's a cypress, I believe, and so gorgeous. I love this like bright, vibrant yellow color. And you can prune on them to keep them to have better shape, but I like the like freeness and the branchiness of them. They probably also within the next year need to get transplanted out. These guys get absolutely massive and I just don't have space for something that big on my property. Under here I have a lavender hedge and one of them died, but I'm not that worried about it. These are called the Princess and it's a more compact lavender and it's supposed to have a better fragrance, and then the blooms on them are white with little like purple flags, and so it's gonna be gorgeous next year when they just fill out for me. This is my fall window box because we don't really get a good fall here. We get a faux fall. So I've got Supertunia Vista Bubblegum. I have Creeping Jenny in here right now. And you can see like there's remnants of Dichondra in here. And so I used to have it. And then I've got some Alyssum, and the Alyssum has just filled out absolutely gorgeously. And then I have a Salvia. I think this is like Rockin' the Blues or something like that. And that I will transplant out this fall time. And then I did come in and I tucked a couple pumpkins. I need to move them more forward so you can actually see them now. I had some darker ones in here and they did not survive. So look, I got another one right there. Yeah, I had some darker ones in there and it was, they just cooked because this is a full sun area. So we gotta pull these pumpkins out so we can actually enjoy them. They're really beautiful. So this is my fall window box with petunias and salvia. Yeah, we're doing great. We're gonna come this way over here and I'll give a quick update. Like I said, you're not gonna judge because there's car parts in the driveway right now. We're working on the car a little bit. This is my Espalier. This is a Arabian Jasmine. This is called something Soul. I'll pop the name up on this. There's gonna be a lot of pop-ups on the screen in this garden tour. Arabian Jasmine Soul, something Soul. We're really well prepared for this garden tour. But I'm training this to be Espalier. This jasmine is more a bush form and it is growing zones that are much higher. I think it's like, I'm the cusp. It's like 9 through 11 and I am zone 9A. And so it might not like me this winter. We'll see. But I want to do this diamond pattern. And usually for a garden tour, I'd come in and clean all this up, but I didn't. It's fine. It's fine. This section here is my Wicked Coleus. Isn't that crazy? This is called Wasabi, and this is 2 plants, and you can't see anything else that's in here. It is so cool, so gorgeous. It just started to bloom, so it's a very late bloomer, so it doesn't just start blooming. Some other Coleuses do bloom, and then you get these little bloom spikes. I like this one because it doesn't start blooming until very late in the season. So by the time I'm ready to start pulling it or thinking about pulling it, it doesn't matter anymore, and I don't get these crazy bloom heads. I had some Supertunia whiteouts down there, and they've been blooming beautifully, but they have since stopped. So isn't that wicked? That is just a couple plants. Gorgeous. We're gonna come through here into the side yard. This side yard has become one of my favorite places. I have a red bud right here. It has a little bit of sun damage. Not sure about that. That's new. It's fine. It's the end of the season, but you can see it's starting to turn colors too. And then I have a Coco Loco rose right here, which probably gets a little too much shade, but it still blooms for me. Aren't those the most gorgeous colors? So that is a more faded bloom. It's silvery. They start out and they look like this, and the blooms are this like soft orange chocolatey color, and they'll stay that. Look at that. And then they'll open up and then they fade. Oh look, here's one. Here's one that's open. Isn't that magic? It's so beautiful. And then they fade. And this is one that is almost gone. Look at that. That was such a full flower. I love this rose, Coco Loco. We'll keep coming down. I have a evergreen clematis growing right here along our string lights. Super beautiful. And then I've got a climbing iceberg rose on this side. And no, this is just an iceberg. This isn't a climber. But I do come in and I hack it back by about half every year. And she does okay there. I'll take it. I've got a couple heucheras tucked in here. Just a beautiful green. I think it's like lime or something like that. And then I've got hostas. I'm trying to add more hostas into this bed. They do pretty well here. This one had a little bit of slug damage, and then I think the water was splashing and caused a little bit of burn on here. And then this is our lion fountain. I would normally clean it before a garden tour, but I didn't, and I'm not worried about it. I have another, is it Summer Soul? I think that's what it is. Summer Soul Arabian Jasmine in a container. This is 2 of them. And then it's lined with some baby tears right here, which is a beautiful, beautiful ground cover. Water lover, shade lover, and then I can have sun plants above it because it'll be so full that it doesn't affect it. So I've got a little trellis there, and this was just to add a little more smell by our seating area that's right here. Just to perfume the air, kind of as you walk by, and it perfumes the air. I have a Kilmarnock willow right here, and that pot is also lined with the baby tears, and it's a weeping style willow that stays much smaller. I think it's like 10 feet tall and like 8 feet wide or something like that. So this one's been in this container for 3 or 4 years at this point, and it's beautiful. And then it gets its little catkins, so it'll get these little seed heads right here, and the catkins will come out, and you get these little like fuzzy things, seed heads on it. And it's a really beautiful willow tree. I love this thing. I have a saguaro cypress right here. So it looks like a saguaro cactus with the arms. And this one stays very small. It's probably only gonna get a couple more feet tall. It'll just get a little bit taller than our roof line's gonna get. And it's not gonna get much wider. So it'll probably go there to there, and just a very cool like specimen piece to have in the garden. I think they're really, really gorgeous, and I transplanted this one here, and I'm very glad that it survived and is doing well because it's a cool piece. I have a magnolia called Ricky right here, and it's not your traditional magnolia, so the leaves don't look like magnolia leaves, you know, but it is a magnolia, and the flowers on it are magical. We got a random little flush of blooms middle of the summer. I think we got like 10 extra blooms on this tree, and I just enjoyed every single bloom that we got. And then down below it, this is the baby tears that is fully filled out, and it just kind of starts to drape down, and I do come in and I kind of trim them up just a little bit. And then that is creeping fig, one of my favorite plants, and you can see it kind of grows up along your house like that. This here is our seating area. We spend most mornings and most evenings out here, and it's just, I don't know, it's a very magical area. I love being here. We have a little fan, and we have a TV, and we have the fountain behind me, and then I added this little fountain here, and I get questions about that little one. That one's from Campania, and I get questions every time I show it. And so I don't have a link for it online, but you can ask your local garden centers if they carry Campania, and to just go through their fountain catalog. They have a million of them. It's a beautiful little sounding fountain. This one came with pebbles to sit on the top, and I didn't like the pebbles, so I got rid of those. I have a sweet spire in a container right here, and we should be getting fall color here pretty soon. It should turn a gorgeous, gorgeous red color. It should be just absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful fall interest plant. You can see some of the leaves are starting to turn yellow, but this whole thing will turn just a bright, fiery red color. It's magic. Here is my mahogany splendor hibiscus, and I just cut this thing back. This is one plant right here, and it's one of my favorites. I absolutely love having it. I use it in cut flower arrangements, and it takes a minute for it to take off, but when it takes off, it's so beautiful. It gives Japanese maple vibes, but it's not. It also might give marinara sauce vibes, but it's also not. And I've never had it flower on me in the landscape, but I did take some root cuttings of it 2 years ago, and I had one of the cuttings flowered randomly inside my seed starting room, and they're just these cute little hibiscus flowers, and they're just very sweet. They lasted one day and then they died, but it's a really, really cool plant. I have over here, this is my dusty Miller patch. Okay, we're not going to talk about my Helen von Stein. It is under attack, and I just put some slug and bug down, but it was bad. This is my Dusty Miller patch, and I love Dusty Miller. This patch right here is about 4 years old, I believe, and I just love it. It winters over for me, and it's one of my favorite things, and it's just kind of a big impact of this like silvery color. This right here is the other Rose of Sharon we have. This is the white chiffon, so it gets these white blooms, and it started blooming all the way down here, and then it just slowly blooms all the way up its top, and it'll bloom until we get a freeze or a light frost, and then it'll lose all of its leaves. I have a little butterfly bush back there it's not doing really anything. I have one bloom right there. It's okay. We'll come around this way. This is another Arabian jasmine right here, and this one is, it got planted last, so it's much smaller. It's not, I don't know, it's gonna take it a minute. This here is the Beyond Pinked Bluebeard. It looks very brown on camera, but it has all these little calyx, and these are all a very soft pink color. So see, they are pink, and then it gets these little crazy bloom heads up the entire stalks. And so they're so much fun, and it's a really cool plant, and the bees go absolutely crazy for it. So if you want something for pollinators, I highly recommend it. That's the Beyond Pinked Bluebeard. We'll come around this way. This is a Supertunia Vista Silverberry that's not doing anything right now, and so I'm gonna pull it. I let it winter over. I think this one's 2 years old, and so I'll pull it, and I will just actually plant a new fresh plant next year. I have some morning glories right there. That one is called Split Seconds, and it's really cool. So you can see the blooms on it. They're more ruffled, and they're just a very interesting morning glory. I love morning glories. I think that they're really a fun plant to add to the garden. I have a hopseed bush right here, which helps lend to a little bit of privacy back here. I would probably like to add one more to just continue with privacy back here. I think it's very important. And then this is one of my pride and joys. This is a lemon cypress, and it is so gorgeous. It's an amazing plant. This is higher zones also, so I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm in a zone 9, and so I can grow a lot of things, but lower zones can grow a lot of things that I can't grow. And I planted it, and this thing was about yay big. It was about this tall. It was teeny tiny, and just in a few short years, it has grown. This would be a great tree to use as a hedge or something like that to lend more privacy. It's gonna continue to grow, and it's gonna just continue to grow rapidly and get huge. And I love it, especially against the black fence. It just shines. Over here, I'm kind of bummed. My Japanese anemones are almost done blooming, and so now they are very underwhelming. And I should have just filmed a garden tour earlier, and I am sorry. This is why I feel like I'm doing a disservice. So the flower heads on them are really pretty, and they're very plentiful. And so you can see each one of these green dots was a flower, and so there was tons of flowers on this thing. It was just covered in pink just a few days ago. We had some crazy windstorms that came. We had like 25-mile-an-hour winds, which is crazy for us. And it just blew the blooms off of this thing. So that was kind of a bummer. Over here, this is our garden gate mirror and arbor that we built. Oh, there's a praying mantis. Oh, hello, buddy. We built this whole thing from scratch, and it was so much fun to build, and I do love it. I think that it was a perfect little spot for it. And it was just kind of distract you from the shed. I mean, the shed it's orange, but it distracts you, okay? This year is my chokeberry. All of this has to move this next year. I want this to be a walkway up to this door right here. And so I want you to feel like you're actually able to walk up to a gate and like have it be like a mirror. Like you're like, oh, what's on the other side there? I mean, it's a mirror. You can tell it's a mirror, but whatever. So all of this will move. I have a hydrangea here that's not doing very well. I think this is Little Lime. I have Limelight and Little Lime, and I'm pretty sure this is Little Lime hydrangea. I gotta come in and pull all this Bermuda grass out of here and whatnot. It's fine. My chokeberry, look at the most beautiful red berries. This is gorgeous for winter interest, and it's a native plant also. And then these leaves here are all gonna turn a fiery red color here pretty soon, I'm assuming. So I just moved it over here the middle of summer and I'm gonna have to move it again. That's the plan, is just take it and move it over. Not worried about it. I have creeping fig because I love it growing up this, and my plan is to get it to grow up the trellis, up the arbor, and kind of over the top of this. That way it's like green and magical and foresty, and like some of them will kind of hang down here like this and it'll mask the shed even more. It's just gonna be gorgeous when it happens. It's probably just gonna take it 2 to 3 years. It's okay. I have some serendipity alliums that I've tucked in around the property in multiple little spots. So I did little groupings of 3 and little groupings of 5, and I'm very, very excited about it. This whole flower bed is brand new, and so I'm excited to see what it does next year. Right here, this is a Vitex, and I love a Vitex. I need to come in, do a little more limbing up on this thing. It's very heavy right now. So all of these are turning into seeds and they're getting very heavy. You can see, look at, they're pink on one side and then they're green on the other. And I love the smell of it. It smells kind of like Vicks Vapor Rub a little bit. So if you don't like the smell of Vicks, don't plant this plant. But I love it. I think it's very beautiful. The bees love it. Just is about done blooming. If I could focus the camera, it's about done blooming. There are still tons of bees on this thing though, and it's still gonna continue to push blooms, and then it's deciduous and it's gonna lose all of its blooms. But I liked the texture down here, I don't know, the movement of the bark. So I'm trying to limb it up. I need to come in and limb it up high. Normally it's a whole shrub, and so this entire thing just comes out and it's just full on shrub. So if you want to limb it up and turn it into a small tree, you totally can. Let me show you guys the willow. Look at, this is my willow tree, and it is huge. It is so magical. I do come in and I usually try to do like light limbing on it. I don't like the like haircut, the bowl cut straight across. It's so much more practical because then we can actually walk underneath everything. But I just normally try to come in and make it so that it is still kind of wispy. It's like I did heavy pruning here, and I should probably do some more heavy pruning kind of in like this area and lightly pruning this area. I still want it to feel like it grew like a willow straight down, but I also don't want, I want to be able to walk underneath. It's fine, it's not the end of the world. This is a new bed for me, and I have some penstemon in here. I remembered, nope, I have penstemon in here. I forgot the plant. Those were phlox. If you've been here for a minute, you know that I can never remember which one is penstemon and pennisetum, and you guys gave me a tip, which was penstemon sounds like stem of a flower, and pennisetum sounds like seed of a grass head. So pennisetum and penstemon, this is penstemon. Very excited to see it bloom. I don't think I've ever actually seen it in person. And then this is all brand new. This last year was our compost area, and this was all just grass. I had a picket fence here, and we were growing grapes on it, and the grapes just never produced. So I said they have to go. I just planted this evergreen right here. This is is it an arrow juniper or something like that? And it's only going to get 2 to 3 feet wide, but it'll be about 20 feet tall. So very tall, but very, very narrow. So it's just going to fill that space in beautifully and just be a very tall, cool specimen plant. I'm very excited about it. And then I'm just trying to add a few more evergreen pieces in here and things that'll just continue to come back. You plant them once, you're done. A whole bunch of perennials. I want this bed to just be planted it, done, forget about it. I've got a couple holes here, and then I have all of this space right here to continue to fill out. So a lot more planting to come, and I'm very, very excited about it. This is the new cut flower garden. It was my vegetable garden, and I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't come back here. I let everything get overgrown, and I didn't have fun with the space. So now I'm only growing things that I love, and this is all going to be cut flowers. So I have some zinnias in here, I have sweet peas, I have nigella, I have my chickens, I have scabiosa, I have lupin, and I've got some basil that I'll use in flower arrangements, and then I am growing lettuce in here because we do eat a lot of lettuce, and I do enjoy lettuce in the garden. I have my strawberry bed back there. You can actually see there's a strawberry growing there and a strawberry growing right there. So this is going to be the cut flower garden, and I could not be more excited for this for next year. And this fall I'm going to do some more fall sowing of some plants. This section back here has become my newest little treasure of an area, and I'm very, very pleased with how it has turned out. This is my sea of heuchera. So you can see all of these heuchera. I've got one. I have a dang gopher that came over here, so I'm gonna have to grab one of my gopher spikes and I'm gonna have to put it in the ground in this area because the heat just killed that plant. That happened yesterday, I noticed, which is upsetting. And then my fountain back here, this is from Amazon. I'm gonna put the link to this in the description down below. It continues to just sell out, but they do restock it. And this was the best, I think it was just over $200, best $200 purchase. Now we have water sounds at the very back of the property, and it's just, I don't know, it's very magical. We added irrigation to it, so it just auto refills. You can see the splash, so it does splash a good amount, but we have a 2 gallon per hour emitter on there, and it auto refills every day, so it hasn't ran dry, which has been fabulous. I do want to show you this because I get questions about it. This is my Oxalis, and I get people that are like, how are you getting this to grow so full and so beautiful? It is on irrigation. It gets a ton of water, and it is also in the shade. And I do leave it out year round. It'll die back in the winter time, so there'll be no heads on there. It's just gonna be soil is all you're gonna see. And then it comes back and it's just gorgeous and strong, and it's beautiful. It's a really cool plant. So make sure you plant it in a container though, not in the ground, because it can kind of take over. I planted it in the ground once and it took me a minute to get rid of it. Okay, we are on this side of the property now, the other side of the willow tree. And this bed is going to get a full rework next year. I have a grass here. I planted it when there was sun. Now there is shade, and so that doesn't work. So that's gonna have to come out. I'm gonna pull out all the creeping Jenny just because we get seedlings that pop up. We get pecan seedlings and we get privet seedlings, and so I just wanna pull all of that out and not deal with a ground cover right there anymore. I also have this St. Johns Wart, and I've been very underwhelmed with it. It was supposed to have red berries, but they just get so hot, they burn and they cook and they turn this like black color, and it just looks like dead dried berries on here. So I'm probably gonna end up pulling this fall time, and I would like to replant with another St. John's wort. I love this plant, very underwhelmed with the berries, and this is one of the main reasons that I grew it. So we'll get rid of this and we'll put something more appropriate in its place. Right back here, this is a pittosporum called Kahuhu, and I love this plant. I love pittosporums. I think they're so cool. They have very, very dark stems, and they have a very bright green glossy foliar growth, and they just kind of shine. They have a beautiful shimmer to them, and they do make a good privacy screen, a little like airy hedge. And I mean, just look at that. It's very sweet. It's very airy, very light, not an intense plant at all. And I just love it. I think it's a very interesting one. This is the newest addition. This is our angry frog. He's our little water spigot, and he's so sweet. Brent installed this for me. The water comes straight out the back. There's pipes back here that run down. And I don't know, he's my little angry frog, and I just think he's the sweetest thing ever. I have a peony right down here. I actually have a couple peonies. I've got 3 of them, and I think this fall I need to dig this one up. I think it's buried a little too deep, and I think this one needs to have some of the soil removed because it also might be starting to get a little too deep with adding mulch and everything. So we got to do a little rework on that. I have my apple espalier, which is another pride and joy. So I have a wire going across the top here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm waiting for this branch to grow, and then I can train it, and it's gonna grow back and along it's gonna grow behind, which is not ideal, but it is fine. It is what it is. And so I have 4 apple espaliers in this bed. So there's another one there, and another one there. I have a Queen of Sweden rose, and I love this plant. I love the blooms on it. I think it's very, very sweet. They're very cupped. They look like peonies to me. And as this starts to age, they will face more upwards, and the blooms, they have very strong stems, so they face upwards, and this will open up more, and it'll look more like a cup. It's just a really interesting plant. I think they're cool. This miscanthus right here, I've talked about. I like it a lot. I actually love this plant, but it is wrong location. Not the best location for this plant. you can see, so my espalier actually ends right here. And so espalier ends there, but the grass ends here. So that's not ideal. So I'm needing to find a different plant to go in between my apple espaliers. So I want to plant something that stays very narrow and just kind of is tall, but fills that area in right there. So I got to figure out what I want to do for next year. I'll have to dig up the miscanthus and just find myself something else, which is not the end of the world. These are my super Cow Picoas, and they've performed absolutely beautifully. I'm very, very impressed with them. They're a very cool pink color, so there's a lot of blue in it, and I don't mind it, but I do wish that what I had done is just planted them along the front of the bed instead of like the entire bed, and then I could have planted a few things that got taller back there. So it just looks like a sea of pink, and it would have been better had I done like the border of pink all the way down. I think that would have been the best choice, but I didn't, and you live and you learn. These are some volunteer zinnias. Did not plant these. These are polar bear though, and I love polar bear zinnias. They're very big, so you can see huge flowers, and they are super gorgeous. This is how they start out, and then as they get older, they get very, very full right here. So gorgeous, gorgeous one. I'm happy that I got some of these, but also not the best location. They're coming out randomly. So I do want to grow some more of these next year, and I'll make sure that they're in a more appropriate spot. I've got 3 more alliums tucked in here. Those are the serendipity alliums. I don't remember if I said that. And then behind it, I get asked about this plant every time. This is, I believe it's Love Lies Bleeding, could be Coral Fountain, Amaranth. And I am a sucker for Amaranth. I love it. They take a minute, but they grow. And when they grow, they give you this beautiful drapey show. I should have done a better job at staking it up, and these plants would be tall and they would be magical and cascade down. I've already cut on this plant. I added it into a flower arrangement, but I just think that they're so incredibly interesting and so magical. Like, look at this. So long, so beautiful, and like this little like ombre effect that they have to the pink to like the like bleached white almost color. It's just very, very cool. And I think this one is, all my tags fell, so I can't remember. I think it's Coral Fountain. It's Coral Fountain or Love Lies Bleeding. I can never remember. Especially, they're so close. One's just deeper color, one is lighter color. Yeah. Here is my yarrow bed. These are Firefly yarrow, and they were so sad when I planted them. If you were here when I planted those, you saw them and you probably were like, Robbie, I don't know about those. I said they're clearance plants. I mean, I got them for free. They weren't clearanced, but if they were at a nursery, they would have been clearance plants. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. I had an 8th one. The 8th one died. It was tucked in right back there. But beautiful, beautiful yarrow. Very excited, and it'll add a bit of interest and a little more height to this bed. This is our aviary, and we are having some issues with the aviary right now. So we had some mice that came in that attacked some of our baby birds, and so we lost some babies that we had, which was really upsetting. And since then, we have put out mice traps and we have poured a concrete base. So there is a concrete pad in here now, and it should make it so that the mice can't get in. We've been coming and checking every couple hours just to make sure that we're not seeing any mice activity, but these are our little zebra finch. They stay out year round, and they're just the sweetest things ever. Very, very kind, sweet birds, and they're just, I don't know, they're so sweet, and their sounds, their little chirps, so much fun. And then this is a male right here. You can tell because of, oh, all 3 of these are males. You can tell because of their cheek. See how they have, looks like they got a little bit of blush on. So yeah, we love our little zebra finch. They're just so much fun. Over here, this is more Helen von Stein lambs here. Oh, that right there is the mole thing. So I need to pull one of those, and I need to go put it back there where my heucheras are at because I don't want those dying. But Helen von Stein lambs here, that's what it should look like, not a million holes in it. Whatever, it's fine. I have a beautiful, beautiful alder tree right here. It grows fast, and they get these little things called alder cones. Let's see if I can find some. Here we are. These are alder cones, so they'll turn into little brown pine cones this fall time, and they're just so cool. I just love them. They're very sweet. I like to use them in fall arrangements and things like that. I just think that they're, I don't know, fun. Purple fountain grass, nothing exciting. Lavender, and then I have an azalea that I planted. And then down here I have a proudberry coralberry, and I have berries. I have pink berries, and I am beyond excited. I did not think I was gonna get any berries off of this plant, and so the fact that I got some berries is very, very cool. It had spider mite damage. Next year I'm gonna take much better care of it. This is kind of a wish list plant for me. I love it. I think it's so cool. I have a rose right here. This one is called Silver Lining, and it did not perform the best for me this year, and it's because I dug it out of the ground and then I put it in a container. And you're really not supposed to do that with plants. They don't love it. I'm gonna come in, give it a better staking system, and I mean, you can see she got a little bit of a lean to her, and I'm gonna do a very hard prune on her this year, so that way in the springtime she wakes up and she's much happier and grows much healthier. And then this is my last pride and joy. This is our Espalier wall. This is Honeysuckle. And this is kind of the reason that I decided I needed to do a garden tour, was because it looks so full and it looks so good right now. Brent just cleaned it all up. And this is not very old. I think this is, at this point, 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. However long Janie and I have been friends, this is how old that is. And so we've got this little seating area right here, and it's just, I don't know, it's a fun area. And this last bed has just gotten a fresh rework. So I have this rose right here. This is the Itsy Bitsy Peach Rose, and gorgeous rose. This is a, I think this is more aged. This is very new. Sorry, they're doing, okay, there's a train, but they're doing train work. So there's train cars that are honking. This is a new rose, and this is more mature, and then those are very aged. So it's a beautiful rose, stays so much more compact than your normal rose. This is probably the max height that it's gonna get, and then it'll spread a little bit more. So it's not gonna get, you know, 6 feet, 7 feet tall. So we'll come back and we'll prune it just to keep it in check. I've got 3 more of the Serendipity alliums. I wanted to just add a little cohesiveness around the property this year. And then I've got my kale hedge right here, and I just love ornamental kale, and so they're coming along beautifully. I have a Stand By Me clematis right there, our little bird bath, and then a hydrangea over on that side. And so I think that that is going to be it for this video, you guys. My unplanned garden tour. This is my garden tour when it is a mess. I tried really hard to not show you this right here that I'm showing you right now. The grass is dying, the grass is a mess. We've ripped up all of the concrete, and we've just been waiting for it to cool down, and it has finally started to cool down. So soon we will be doing the rest of the rework on this property, and I'm very excited about it. So thank you guys for coming along with me on this unplanned garden tour. This is my garden, real life, real messes, real projects in the middle of it, and yeah, we're living the dream over here. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for visiting our garden, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.